Hey everyone, happy Wednesday hump day, and it is time, as you guessed it, for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So the buggy, which was in for a couple short things, left today, so hope he has lots of fun with it, and he should not be having battery discharging issues anymore after we found those couple of very weird and hard to find problems. Anyway, so let's talk about today what actually happened around here. So literally no one will be surprised by the fact that Rafa worked on the Barndoor bus. So let's see what this guy did. He finished preparing the sheet metal for the motor for this one. Just had a few last remaining things to do, and then I took those over to powder coating, and I also took over the seat frames for powder coating. So hopefully we'll have the seat frames and the engine tin. Of course, we don't have an engine built yet, so not much as much of a hurry. But yeah, hopefully we'll have the seat frames back in about a week, and then our upholstery guys can start upholstering them, and that is going to be amazing. Can't wait to see the seats for this baby all upholstered up with correct looking upholstery right down to the color of the threads and all that good stuff. And then I don't remember if I mentioned or not, I did order the front interior panels from Clara at Clara's Panels, and so hopefully she'll be finishing those up in the not too distant future, and we'll get and install those. This thing, the interior, is really going to start coming together. So other than that, since I'm already standing near the front of the bus, let's talk about what happened up here. So Rafa installed these, which are the disconnects for when you have Safari windows. So in order to open the Safari windows, you need to get the wipers out of the way. And so you pull the wipers on the base of the arms up, and you can rotate them out of the way so that the Safari windows can, of course, swing open. So these are reproductions of disconnects, which are basically impossible or very nearly impossible to find for Barndoor buses. They are different than for later buses. So yeah, somebody makes really nice reproductions of these. They ain't cheap, but they look really nice and they seem to fit well. So those are in. Also, Rafa went ahead and finished restoring all the little bits and pieces, the little clips and so on, that go into the headlight assemblies, and put the headlight assemblies together, and then went and put them on the bus. So the front of this thing is really coming together. I do need to order the reproduction Safari windows because good luck finding an original set. So yeah, I need to order those here soon so we can get those going. But yeah, the front of this bus is coming right along here. Look at that. It's got headlights now and everything. He also installed a dome light. Let's see which dome light. He put in the rear dome light today, which is way back yonder. So there it is. Again, these are correct for a Barndoor, which you can see the base of it is dark colored. It's actually Bakelite, which is essentially like an early type of plastic, compared again to later buses where the base of the dome light is silver, like you see there. So it's aluminum. So yeah, big difference, and also very hard to find and not cheap when you find them. I don't want to say how much we have into these two dome lights, but it's kind of a lot. So there you go. Anyway, but that having been said, those kind of details make a huge difference. Anyone who knows anything about these buses, if they see the later aluminum ones in there, they'll probably be a little disappointed because these things are just bitching. So there you go. I think those are kind of the main things that he did on here today. So let's talk about what I did. Other than running a bunch of errands for this bus, so in addition to taking the seat frames and engine tin to powder coating, I took his heater boxes to ceramic coating. So those will be all ceramic coated. And I took his Arboth muffler to our friend Tiger at A1 Muffler. We're going to have him modify it. It's going to have a single oval outlet in the middle, and it's going to look amazing. So drop that off with Tiger. So yeah, I spent most of the morning pretty much running errands related to this thing so we can keep this thing moving. And so there you go. So I did that. And then I actually started the beautiful 1500cc motor here, which is of course for the equally beautiful 67 Beetle that you see squirreled away back there. So yeah, I went ahead and fired this puppy up today. It fired right up, and thanks to the little engine test stand, Zelex Industries. You can see an earlier video I posted specifically about this setup. So yeah, love this setup, and not testing motors inside cars anymore, only testing them on the stand now. And so this one needed a cam brake in, so I went ahead and got it fired up, and adjusted the timing, static timing, stuff like that first, and then yeah, went ahead and did the 20-minute cam brake in. It went well. No connecting rods came through the case or anything like that, of course, and I didn't see any oil leaks or anything. So yeah, so far so good. So tomorrow I will drain the oil and go and check / adjust the valves, and yeah, I may even do a little tuning on it, try and get the idle and stuff adjusted before it goes in the car. But other than that, yeah, this is going to be ready to go in the car very, very soon. So that was actually a pretty big accomplishment for the 67, because that's the next major thing for that car, is to get its motor. So after that, turned my attention to this beauty, the, of course, 52 original 3-fold split window. And as promised, Jacob and I put some brake fluid in this thing, and we bled the brakes. So it has brakes now, and the brake pedal feels amazing. Not that you'll be able to tell how it feels from watching me push it, but yeah, it goes down the appropriate amount and is very solid. Feels great. So very happy about that. And once we got the brakes all bled, adjusted the e-brake lever, went ahead and tightened down the drums, cotter pinned those. Still have to do some fine tuning on the adjustment of the front axle bearing nuts there, axle nuts, and then bend those tabs down. So then those will be done, because again, we don't bend tabs down or install cotter pins until everything's done and torqued down. So don't be like other people who we've had their cars before that have finger tight axle nuts with cotter pins on them. Don't do that. Same thing here. Don't bend those tabs down if these are not properly adjusted, or I'll be very grumpy at you. So yeah, anyway, once the brakes were all done, we made sure there's no leaks, etc. Then boom, we installed the tank. Look at that. So tank is in, it's plumbed to the chassis, to the, of course, hard line that runs through the tunnel. So yeah, this thing is pretty much ready to put gas in. And of course, thanks to the super awesome test stand, which I wish I had bought, a couple of years sooner, I know that this motor runs bitchin' now. So pretty much just a matter of getting it some fuel and some 6 volts from the car now instead of from the test stand, and I have no reason to doubt this thing won't start up and purr like a kitten. So speaking of the battery, I may tomorrow or maybe Friday, we'll have to see what else I have on my plate. I may go and pick up the 19L sized 6-volt battery for this thing. I do need to still weld in the stud and the little latch or hook thing back here that this car doesn't seem to have for one reason or another, and so that I can install the battery. So strictly speaking, those are not correct for this split window. It should have the spring type battery hold down system. It doesn't have the accommodations for that either, and those batteries are fairly impossible to find. They're not actually a 19L. They're some other size, and I don't remember the designation of it. And the top for those batteries is also very hard to find. So we're going to just put in basically like an oval window style battery cover and the commonly available 19L battery and stuff, and it'll all be under the back seat. So strictly speaking, not 100% correct for a split window, but yeah, I think it's an okay trade-off. So yeah, other than getting the brakes done and putting the gas tank and stuff in, I did go ahead and pull out his wheels and tires. So again, on split windows, these are 16-inch wheels by I think 3.5 inches. They're quite skinny, and the tires are 5.25, 5 by 5, or I don't know why they're listed as one slash the other. They're 5 or 5.25 by 16s, and these things are super skinny and awesome. They're pretty much like bicycle tires, maybe motorcycle. These tires are listed as needing inner tubes, but I don't believe they have tubes in them, which can be okay. I went and I tried to put air in them, and most of them started leaking around the valve stem, which tells me that there's not a tube in there, that these are just valve stems pulled into the rim. So that's okay, but I don't really trust these valve stems now, so I may take these over to the tire shop that I use and have them open these up and then confirm, if I'm correct, that there are no tubes in here. And then I'll probably just have them go ahead and put them back together and put new stems in, because that's, again, this was a running, driving car. This is how it was. So if the rims are sealed that well and we can get away with just putting new stems in them, then that's awesome, rather than having to screw around with tubes. But we'll see. Yeah, once they open these up and they can peek in there, then again we'll confirm. And I don't think they have tubes in them, but we'll find out. One way or the other, need to make these holding air, and then pretty much can go on the car, especially now that it's got brakes and all that good stuff. So, but I think that is actually it for today. No love for this one today. Maybe I'll get back to it tomorrow. Maybe I'll get back to it Friday. Actually, take it back. This one did get a little love today. So I ordered a new steering wheel and horn button from Koch's today. So I think they said they should be able to ship that out in a couple days or so. So thanks to those guys in advance for that. Okay, so now for real, I think that's it for today, guys. So thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for all the comments, the likes. Thanks in advance for subscribing, any new folks out there. And thank you for the longtime subscribers. Just thanks everyone in general. So with that, let me let you guys go. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.